Have you ever faced a frustrating syntax error while trying to initialize your Spring Boot application? If so, you're in the right place. Today, we are going to tackle the common issue of SQL syntax errors during application startup. I completely understand how annoying it can be when your application fails to start due to a simple syntax error. You're not alone in this struggle. Many developers encounter this issue at some point. Let's dive into the specific situation at hand. One user recently asked, "Why am I getting a syntax error in my SQL statement when initializing data in my Spring Boot application?" They provided their application properties and SQL scripts, but the error still popped up. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So, what could be causing this syntax error? It often stems from incorrect SQL syntax or misconfigured application properties. We will break down the provided SQL scripts and properties to identify the issue. And stick around, I have a crucial tip at the end that will help you avoid these syntax errors in the future. To address the syntax error in the SQL statement, the user should first check the schema.sql file for any issues. In this case, the user has used backticks around the table and column names, which is not necessary in standard SQL. Next, the user should ensure that the data.sql file is correctly formatted. The user should also remove the backticks from the insert statement, as they are not required. After making these changes, the user should verify the application properties. The user should ensure that the schema and data files are correctly referenced. Finally, the user should restart the Spring Boot application to apply the changes. This should resolve the syntax error and allow the application to initialize the database correctly. Fun fact, did you know that SQL stands for Structured Query Language? It's the standard language for managing and manipulating databases. But even the best can trip over syntax. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution suggests modifying your SQL statement. Instead of using backticks around the table name, simply use the name without any special characters. This user recommends the following SQL command to create the table. Let's take a moment to review another user's answer. An alternative solution shared by another user involves removing single quotes from the table name in the insert query. They changed their SQL from using single quotes around the table name to using no quotes at all. That's it for that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative solution suggests that since you set the ID to auto-increment, you shouldn't specify it when inserting a new record. Instead, just insert the first name and age. That's it for that response. Let's explore another one. An alternative solution was shared by another user who faced the same issue. They resolved it by adding two properties to their application properties file. First, they set the character set to UTF-8. Second, they specified a custom SQL command extractor for handling multi-line SQL statements. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. An alternative solution provided by another user suggests adding two properties to your application properties file. They recommend setting spring.jpa.properties.hibernate.globally quoted identifiers to true and spring.jpa.properties.hibernate.globally quoted identifiers skip column definitions to true. This adjustment resolved the syntax error for them. Here's the tip I promised. Always validate your SQL syntax using a SQL editor or validator before running it in your application. This can save you a lot of headaches. And there you have it. By checking your application properties and correcting your SQL scripts, you should be able to resolve that pesky syntax error. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more troubleshooting tips and remember to keep coding confidently.